Have we reached the bottom of the barrel yet? Can the internet discourse machine churn out something dumber than what we're going to talk about today? We almost made it to this point with last year's NyQuil Chicken Challenge, but that was at least obviously stupid on the face of it. But I did not know how deep the chicanery went. It all started with this innocent TikTok.
This is a PSA to the seasoning police on this app. If in your brain you only view seasoning as things like garlic powder, onion powder, or maybe something like rosemary, if this is what you view as seasoning and seasoning only, let me pose you a question. What does this come from? Granulated garlic, what is that? Garlic? Onion powder, what does that come from? Dehydrated onion? Let's take a look at the spice rub. Dehydrated garlic, onion, and bell pepper.
I sauteed those bell peppers along with my onion and garlic.
What is so funny to me is if I had just doused my chicken in this rub alone, the seasoning police would be out of my comments. They wouldn't even be in there. But the second it's fresh garlic or fresh onion or fresh bell pepper, it's automatically not seasoning. And let me just say one last thing. If you're one of those people that loves to watch cooking competitions and a judge says something is under-seasoned, they're talking about salt. Under-seasoning your food means there's not enough salt in it. Salt is gonna bring out the flavor of onion, the flavor of garlic, the flavor of whatever random spice rub that you have. And let me just say that if your food tastes a little off, it's not because you need to add more powder. It's most of the time because you need to add more salt or some sort of acid like lemon juice or vinegar, okay?
Seems normal enough, right? It's just a viral video of a cooking TikToker, Zoe Berry, talking about seasoning chicken. She had been getting a lot of flack about how she seasoned her chicken in her videos, so this was her reply. And oh boy, the people who clapped did not like receiving clapback.
A PSA to the seasoning police on this app.
So this came on my For You page, and I just don't know who the seasoning police is, and I'm curious who is, because the only people that I know season their food don't look like her. That's the ongoing joke. And then what makes it worse is that when you read the comments, the people defending her don't look like me or people that season their food. So I don't know, just seasoning police sounds a little racist.
Nobody's mentioned race, dude. It didn't matter that she was white and the people commenting on her content were black until you and people like you made it matter. And there are a lot of people out there who are really trying to make this into a race issue. On both sides, to be honest. This is more genuinely white supremacist content than 99% of what Aryan Agartha Groiper accounts put out. The way she said seasoning police was more powerfully racist than any slur I've ever heard. And here's the same sentiment from the other side. This woman in one TikTok has done more for the dissident right than any rad femme or trad poster on here. These fuckers will do anything to make a conversation about race. Most of my audience is American, so you guys probably know this, but just in case. It's long been a negative stereotype that black people in America have about white people that they don't season their food whatsoever, that they just eat bland stuff like toast with butter or plain tomato sauce with beans or something like that. This conversation has several dimensions to it. Firstly is the whole seasoning means spicy thing. Best example of that is this recently viral tweet, where a black guy thought that Buldak double spicy ramen meant spicy for white people. Now, to be fair, there absolutely is that segment of people in our culture who are generally white and generally can't deal with spicy food. My mom is a great example. But when I was dating a girl from China, I basically had to learn to enjoy spicy food. And though it's good, it really is an acquired taste. I enjoy it now, but I absolutely had to work to pick it up. I can understand why people wouldn't want to. It can definitely be a painful experience. But man, this idea that only black Americans know about spicy food is just wild to me. And I'm not only talking about Asian spicy noodles or Indian curry or something. You can find some of the spiciest cuisine in the world by eating at an authentically hot wing joint. And that stuff comes straight out of the Southern BBQ repertoire, a culture that is quite well known for being very white. Secondly, anybody who's eaten authentic French food or Italian food will know that what we're calling white people absolutely know about seasoning. Yeah, on the surface level, the British don't seem to, but remember, they colonized the world to get at the spice trade. They also know what's going on. This idea that white people food is unspiced came about due to, believe it or not, the Cold War. Seriously. Do you know what a stereotypical frozen dinner consists of? Mashed potatoes flavored with butter, a slab of meat, generally steak, lightly seasoned, and boiled vegetables. Not exactly the most appetizing meal, but it will do in a pinch. There's a reason for that. Cold War era America had restructured a lot of its society in order to try and survive a nuclear holocaust. For example, the original creation of the suburb as a mode of living was in part due to the American government not wanting all of its population to exist in tightly packed cities that could be nuked off the face of the map. urban sprawl was a cynical way to ensure that at least some Americans survived in the face of Armageddon, by virtue of being so spread out. The Cold War affected a lot of American trends in this way. American culture took on this individualistic, quasi-utilitarian preparedness, and the foods were no different. Easy to store, easy to cook, able to keep you alive. Taste was not the primary concern, and you can see this reflected in the culture of the time. The reason that finding 200-year-old boxes of powdered mashed potatoes in Fallout is so funny is because just add water foods were a Cold War prepper staple. Same with Spam, hot dogs, beans, vegetables, all stuff you could can and store in your underground bunker and eat at a later date while the wasteland sheds its radiation above you. Meat and potatoes stuck around as an American staple, even after the immediate threat of the Cold War receded, and became the basis of the white people food stereotype. And this leads to my third point. Bland food is actually sometimes pretty good. Yes, I absolutely loved my Chinese girlfriend's authentic spicy chicken. I learned to cook it myself, and I still cook it occasionally now, even though she's long gone. But I also like bland foods too. Sometimes I feel like a really spicy stir fry. Sometimes I just want a slice of toast or a hot dog with ketchup or something. Sometimes a slab of properly grilled meat is way better than over-spicing it with way too much nonsense, because you don't want to look like a mayo monkey. By the way, mayo monkey is a racial slur referring to white people who only eat bland food. But funnily enough, in the wild, I've only ever heard progressive, self-hating white women use it to refer to other whites. I'm sure there are some racist black people out there who have said it, but I've never bumped into them personally. Funny how that works. But for some reason, these dumb fucks can't help but start the next great spice war. From the Twitter account Right Wing Cope, because of course it is. What in the Caucasian is this? Absolutely no seasoning in sight. Oh no, my friend, you poor delicate little retard. You have no idea what is about to happen to you. Let's roll the clips. First up, you want to watch step 1 on how to make authentic black American fried chicken? You wash it. And no, I don't mean a quick rinse of any possible chicken goop in your dirty sink. In the dirty sink specifically, guys. You should have a clean sink and a dirty sink while cooking. What I'm talking about is, you scrub those motherfuckers with dish soap. Seriously? Dish soap? What do you think you're accomplishing here? At least this guy's using vinegar, and vinegar is at least edible. Wait, no, he's also using dish soap with the vinegar. Alright. Check this one out. She's really pouring it on, like the dish soap is BBQ sauce or some shit. And then she's scrubbing it with the sponge, like, what the fuck, why? This has to be a joke, right? This can't be real. This has to be a troll. She's scrubbing it. She's scrubbing it like I scrub a fucking dirty, grease-covered pan. What the fuck? Listen, I am never gonna take any shit from people like this who are saying white people don't know they season and ever again. What the fuck?
I'm gonna show y'all how I clean my motherfucking chicken. This is how my grandma showed me, my mama showed me, and this is how I do it for me. So you're gonna put in a little bit of Clorox. It have to be name brand Clorox bleach or it will not taste right.
That's bleach, bitch. You're pouring fucking bleach in the chicken. Okay, I have to believe this is a troll. It's pretty funny if it's a troll. She's saying stuff like it won't taste right if it's not brand name bleach. Okay, you got me. Fuck, if it's not a troll though, what are you gonna do next? Wash it in CLR? Jesus Christ. All I can say at this point is, I'm glad we are moving towards tagging restaurants as black owned. A side conversation on all of this revolved around whether or not you should rinse your chicken. Not wash with fucking soap or bleach or the blood of virgins or whatever. Just rinse off the chicken goop with water after you pull it out of the package. Some people think that the germs of the chicken are in the chicken slime, and that rinsing the slime off the chicken cleans it, which is wrong. The CDC has a handy guide about why you need to cook the chicken to an internal temperature of 165 freedom degrees, and how rinsing the chicken in the sink often leads to the chicken germs sticking around the sink basin, where they will then go on to contaminate other dishes or food that you put into it. I'm of two minds about this because, one, yes, that is absolutely true, but also I've experimented. I've both rinsed chicken and not rinsed chicken before, and I've noticed differences. Keeping the packaged chicken slime on the chicken does affect the taste, in a way that I personally don't like. In my experience, it also prevents spices or sauces from sticking to the meat. But you know what solves that? Adding a little bit of oil or butter. There are times when I have rinsed with water and not washed with soap, you fucking degenerates, a piece of meat before cooking it. But even when I do that, I follow the cardinal rule of cooking. Maintain 2 sinks. Like I said before, you need a clean sink and a dirty sink to properly cook at least some dishes, and you must ensure there is no crossover. But for 9 times out of 10, rinsing the meat is just not necessary, guys, despite any personal taste preferences. The ultimate black pill on this topic is when you discover that a lot of cultures that developed ritualistic washing of food, as well as over-spicing and overcooking, did so because, due to a combination of climate and food scarcity, they tended to eat stuff that was potentially rotting due to lack of other options. And all of this stems from the fact that washing and coating your meat to the point that it's unrecognizable was a way of getting people to actually eat it. This helped lead to a belief that the only way to season meat is to cover it in dried spices, stuff that is visibly granular. And while this is obviously one way of doing it, it's amazing just how ignorant these people are. This woman is putting her chicken onto a bed of vegetables and herbs for roasting, coating it in a fresh garlic rub. And check out the replies she got. Where's the seasoning? Salt is a good start, lol, but I mean, do you use pepper, paprika, garlic or onion salts or powder? Herb seasoning, polo seasoning, anything? Do you think it's only real seasoning if you get it out of a jar? They added salt, lol, that's it. This goes all the way back to the original video, where Zoe Berry explained that garlic powder comes from fucking garlic. Or we could all just be wrong about this, and instead we're all just racists. Here's the alternative hypothesis. White people not seasoning their food actually really is based in racism and classism, lol. The reason white people don't season food is because historically, rich white people began to think seasoning was for brown people who had to season their food because they couldn't afford better tasting meat. They associated unseasoned food with cleanliness and moral purity, calling it clean or simple eating. In medieval Europe, the rich felt that once spices became affordable for everyone instead of just the wealthy, they no longer wanted them. So basically, white people don't season their food because their ancestors thought seasoning was for poor people and brown people, lol. That's right, guys. Are you a white supremacist because you don't want to eat rotten food and be shitting your guts out all night? If avoiding salmonella means that I'm part of the Third Reich, well, at least I get a cool uniform out of it. In any case, I have no idea how to end this video. Just remember that seasoning police is now a new racial slur, and donate money to the subscribe star or something. Okay, bye.